One of the things that I'm starting to realize as I make my first larger game is that even though you've spent 10 years learning how to code, a bunch of years learning how to do 3D, a bunch more doing pixel art, there's one thing that a game needs to have, otherwise it's not really a game, and that is it needs content. It needs to have something for you to play. It can't just be a room with enemies that you shoot at. So we've made all these systems and we have them all in place, but we still need to put them together to create content for the player to actually move through and actually play the game. Otherwise, it's just a sandbox, and that's not what we're going for. In my game, I want to make sure that there's room for player expression, even if it is just a little bit, to be able to find and equip things that you can use to slightly alter the way that you play. We've got a basic attack, but on top of that, we're also going to have mods that can alter movement abilities, and in the last few weeks, we've been working on adding secondary abilities that the player can use, like a massive barrage of missiles or a huge laser. Now, I've got all the systems in place, but there's one big problem. We need to make the abilities, and we need to make the mods, and I also need to make levels, obviously, and draw everything instead of just using a few frames from my damage animation. So our next goal really is to build out the levels. We need to do some additional animations and maybe add one or two more abilities. We also need to make a path from the start of the game to the first boss so we can really start to get a feel for how this game works as a Metroidvania, rather than just a room with a few enemies. Then I should be able to have something that I can put together for you to play and tell me if it even is any good as a Metroidvania. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're streaming development on Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, 6 AM Australian Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, I will see you. Hello, how are we doing? It is Friday, which is contrary to the schedule just said, but it's okay because this week is different. So we are here. Now, yesterday we were re-implementing our elevator. And I left stream because I had to go to work and I wasn't able to get it working. And I came back last night, and I took a look, and it's kind of funny. The reason it doesn't work or didn't work is because I was selecting the wrong path follow 2D. So let's just bring back the music. And then we turn it down on this end. So if we go back to the level, facility entry 1, and we just run, actually don't run it, go 2D. So here it is here, and we were like, why isn't it working? The answer is here, you're meant to select a path follow, and obviously the level is very big. I don't know why I have, if you tick off show all, that's a lot better. Before it was like, oh god, and I got confused. And I selected the wrong one. I was selecting a floater, which also follows a path. This is the path follow you want to select, the one that's attached to the platform track. Otherwise, what's the point? Anyway, so now we know, and we can run the game, and everything will be fine, I think, except for the fact that I've been messing around with how the game spawns. Is currently on a 5-stream streak. Nice. That's like a nickel. Where's the music? Okay, see, like this, we've been messing around with like where the player will spawn, and I mean, it's mostly working. So if I not run that game, but if I run like any other, we'll show up in the right spot because there's like a known player location. So if we come back to this and we walk up, hooray, we are standing on the elevator. It doesn't look weird. It's not moving our character around like it was before. And everything is happy days. And if we can call the elevator back. And reversed it as well. I just started using Godot to design Dungeon Crawler. How long did it take you to reach a working prototype? I mean, I had a working prototype within like a month. It's just the last 5 months have been like expanding out the different things that you can do. So I had like your state machine with shooting and able to fight these enemies. You can't really see them because I've got the collision shapes turned on, but I had all of this within the first month so that you could play and you could fight the boss. What I didn't have was, say, for example, like a more fleshed out health system. I didn't have anything like that. I didn't have any of these like shootable objects. I didn't have a shop, you know? I didn't have a menu with items. I didn't have a map, which has nothing on it, but all of these different things that I've been building for the last 5 months, you know, your abilities. So, you know, that first month was really easy because it's just like I made enemies that you could fight and a boss. And I'm like, does it feel good? Do you think I could make like a lot of this? And it's like, yeah. And then it's like, okay, but like a game expects a lot more, you know? And so once you start working towards that, it takes a lot longer. But yeah. I want it to, when I want to start putting out like alpha builds, I just want to have like a very complete game loop. So that means like you actually start from somewhere, you go and you fight some enemies, you fight a boss, and then you return back to where you came from or whatever. So like working towards that, I think is a lot more challenging. It's taken a lot longer, that's for sure. But today, so what we're working on is we need a way when we're testing these things out to be able to do it not within the main level, to just do it in a room. Maybe we call it the gym, right? And so that we can bring an object in like an elevator, and we don't have to worry about finding a spot to put it. We don't have to worry about like taking ages to get into the game and finding the right spot to do it. We can just like create a little node and like run off and start doing it. So that's all about like reducing the dependencies. Testing grounds, exactly. I don't have anything like that. And also the way the game is structured didn't really allow for that, because the game, like as its bare minimum, requires a node called game start and a camera rig. And like there's no player in this level, right? The game start determines where the player goes. So if I click this, I've sort of fixed this up now. The game, the guy will show up just at 0-0, like he gets spawned. But it's actually causing problems in the main game now, because when you start the game, you just get placed at 0-0, right? So if I start a new level, like a new game, you'll end up inside the wall because this is like the 0-0. So we need to fix that. You know what I'm saying? So it should be pretty easy. What I think we should do is probably, I was thinking about either if the known position for the spawning is 0-0, then we just override that with like the selected game start location, I should say. But there's always a non-zero chance that the position you actually want to put the player in is actually 0-0. So like, is it possible that that gets wrong? So when we go new game, I guess that's the question. If we go, where's my find? New, is it new game from menu? Yeah, here we go. Save game, create profile, fresh load level, game location equals game start.global position. So this is not going to work, right? And I actually have a way of getting around this already. Because you can't wait until the level has loaded before you start looking for this game start node. Because by the time you do that, it's already requested the player and loaded it. So you can't actually set the game start location. Yeah, you have to get that and set it before you actually load the level, which is a little bit challenging, but there is a way to do it. So what we can do, there is a function I created, which was it get game start? Get start? Set player location? Yeah, so we're gonna find the doors. Oh. Oh, that's maybe we just need to do the same exact function, but for game start. So that's not that bad. We only need it one time, but this is not super fast or efficient. So, but it works. Get game start location, and really, it just expects the level, which is a node 2D. So that's pretty straightforward. And then, yeah, we'll do the exact same thing. It actually returns a vector 2. Equals vector 2.0. Then return. Itchy. Okay. Game start location, and then what was it? New game from menu. So once we know what the level is, so the next scene. Okay, so we have that string name fresh load level. Does this return anything? Are we just loading it? Game start location equals player location. It's kind of a problem. So we never actually return that. Because we do need just the new scene. I guess we could so we want basically the pack scene. Well, actually we want it after it's been instantiated. At this point we have enough to set it. But for the most part, when we're calling this function, we want to set it to the player location, which is like a stored location. So this will work when you load from a saved position. So I'm guessing if you load player scene, load game from menu, right? You fresh load level, right? And that's fine. We're actually setting game start location here. I wonder how many times I'm calling this. 5 times. Game start location equals player location. Save state is the only place we're not. But in the update player, we do actually update the player location. So we could do it. Oh, game start location, player location. Yeah, we're doing it already. So new game from menu is the only place we're not. So we don't really need that. Load game from menu. Yeah, okay, so pretty much I would say fresh load level doesn't need that. Game start location equals player location. But I do think this should return the level. If I have it return the level, then I can... But does it set the current scene? Set current scene is scene, no 2D. Okay, so I can actually use current scene as... Yeah, okay, that's how we'll do it. So let's go fresh load, not fresh load, start game from menu. New game from menu, start game from menu. Okay, so then we can, once that's done, we can actually say get game start location and then pass in the current scene. Right, and then actually set the game start. Or don't, no, weird. Level child, set current scene, new scene instantiate, level add child. Do you think it'll be fast enough? I guess we'll find out. I don't think it will be. Like, even if we just go var game start equals... It's like, it's clearly not done it before. Like, even if I say game start location... Although, Oh, wait, let's try anyway. Wait, why is it angry at me? Cannot assign variable to game start. I guess it's like a game start location. Well, it's not actually a game start. Okay. We're returning a vector 2. So you get game start location and then we'll just loop through this. Okay, so we get the child objects. Technically the level should have loaded already, but I guess this is faster. Yes, I had the same problem. That's why I wasn't doing get nodes in group, because it returns nothing. Because the game hasn't even loaded yet. The level hasn't loaded yet. We're moving too quickly, so we can just use the same exact child objects. Children. Children? It's probably a better way. Array equals level dot find children. Although if we're looking for game start, we probably don't need to find children. How is the game normally structured? Maybe we could find child and just look for game start. You know what I mean? Find children. Find child. Finds the first descendant of this node whose name matches the pattern. Returns null if no match is found. Let's try. The matching child is done against node names, not their path, through string match. As such, case sensitive star matches 0 or more characters, and question mark matches any single character. If recursive is false, then node's children are checked. Only this node's direct children checked, so this is recursive, but that's okay. This method is very slow. We know it's not that slow. Not slow enough to have an issue when you're loading the level, if that makes sense. Like, it's slow, but not that slow. Okay, so then this is not a child, this is a game start. Risky. Does it return null? If returns an empty array, this is find children. Returns null. Yeah, okay. So then we can say if game start. Game start. Location equals game start dot global position. Return location. Okay, why is it angry? Cannot assign type find child. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that is that. Theoretically should work just fine. So if we go back to new game from menu, then in theory, we are going game state game get game start location. We're setting the location to be the game start location, so it's a bit like theoretically the game start should be the thing that takes a position, but like in the case of a new game, there is no information available. So like we should just go where I've put it rather than 0, 0. So that is where we're going to go. And then I guess in theory this will work. If it works for doors, it works for this. But we'll find out. I'm a little bit skeptical. Yeah, no, it's not happening in the right order. And so that's an issue for us. We have to split out when we do a load, like the actual fresh load level, we need to split the adding of the child and the setting of the scene. Like just return, put the scene on a separate thread, as I say to myself. Don't do this all in the one thread. Yeah, probably not. Like I should have this be separate. So we can go load level. That's probably it's a bit confusing if it's called load level, because it's like we're not loading the level. Add level to scene. Add level as child. And it wants a level. Level is a variable already. What is level? Oh, level dot add child. New level. Oh, it's like the actual level scene. It's like the parent where you actually load it into. I see. This is pack scene or node 2D. And then we go level. We actually need the scene as well. New scene. Why do we need that? Set current scene. String nut. Oh, alright. Okay. So fair enough. Happy days. And then it doesn't do anything, but we should return that. Return new level. It's going to be annoying. This returns a node 2D. Okay, and then we can add level as child. So then we separate the two steps, so we have two functions to call rather than one. So basically every time that we're calling this fresh load level, we actually need to be like adding it as a child of the calling it as a function of this add level as child. And then, I mean, I could really just instantiate new level. I don't know, instantiate. And then it's going to throw a bunch of errors. So we can just go find those where fresh load level is not found. So last scene path. So then, underscore level node 2D equals that, and then we can add child as scene, add levels as child, and then we want the level, and we want the last scene path. Right, that's that. Okay, so this one, save state. A lot of these are just reloading the same scene, so it's not super big deal. Instantiate new level, and then we say add level as child, and then we pass in the level and this scene. I just copy that at this point. Next scene is what we're using here. New game from menu. And this is where we actually wanted to change it, so we can actually do this in between the two steps. So that we haven't added it as a child yet, and therefore we haven't requested the player. Load game from menu. Oh. And then we say add level as child, underscore level. And is it really last scene path here? I think it is, yeah. And now everything's probably broken. Let's see. Yeah. Cannot call instantiate a null value. When are we passing new scene? So scene is like blank. Where are we doing that? What the hell? Okay, let's test a different method. Okay, so old stuff works. It's just new game still broken. Everything else is fine. It's a long load. I probably need to... let's test a save as well. Okay, that worked. What about a game over? That worked as well. Okay, but we got a double hit there. We double loaded. Also, we got a lot of printouts for some reason. I don't know why. Just one time that time. I wonder what that is. There's just one level loaded. I was like, what if there's 2 levels? Is it just the first time it does that? So weird. Okay, so everything is fine. Open user data folder. Profiles, we've got way too many. Just delete a few. Okay, so everything is fine except for the new game. New game from menu. We instantiate last scene path. Why do we do that? This is like literally use next scene. I just copy and paste it like an idiot. Instantiate. Set games lot. Game start location. Next scene, current scene. We literally want to pass in level and then add level as child, okay? And now it works. Happy days. Okay, let me test that game over thing. It's like kind of the first time that you die. I don't know. Don't know what caused that. Okay, but we're in action now. Things are working properly, and I'm guessing then we've reduced the amount of dependencies. We can just sort of run this. We should show up here. This is where the game start is, but I don't know. Actually, we'll probably still end up at 0, because if we're running the scene as like an isolated current scene, then there's nothing, none of those functions are being called in the game state. Even though it loads here, the gym is actually going to be loaded on the outside of this, but it's not a big deal. Like everything will still work. As long as you're not trying to load new levels and stuff like that, or save the game, I think that's fine. Saving the game might still work even. But maybe. It'd probably still break things. Makes me wonder. I'm like, how can you... Is there a way that you can override that kind of thing? Like, I don't know. Probably not. So, now we can just like add stuff to this if we want. And we don't have to worry about making it add it to the main world. And one of those things was elevators. Someone yesterday, Bone Circuit, was saying add multiple elevators. And I was like, I don't get why that would even be an issue for this at the moment. So let's add multiple elevators. Side by side. Or what? I don't know, he's not here. How many, what are, anyway. Elevator. I think I called it platform. Although it's still under the elevator folder, right? It's in world at least. Or did I rename it? I did. I got to the mute in time. I got to the mute. Oh my god. I just realized I'm not even monitoring the stream. There we go. Okay. So, multiple platforms. Platform track. Hey, GameStar, get out of here. We don't even really need you except for the fact that you have to request a player. Okay, platform track. Platform track. How many of these do we need? Don't know. Editable children. Editable children. So platform tracks are like kind of funny in the point where you do need to add the stops, right? Platform stop. Platform stop. Here. So you just add that in. And then make it a chart of this. And then you can just duplicate it. Whatever. Add it there. So this guy has two. We can actually duplicate these and just make them a chart of this. And then just move them. I don't know. I'm still confused about why this would even be a problem. Okay, and then we've got these. And then you just have to set these little markers to be wherever you want them to be. It's not as serious as it looks. It's like, it still has to be within the path. So it could be anywhere on the x-axis. It doesn't really matter. But we'll make it like here. Actually, technically you want to line it up with this. Okay. And then these guys here. Stress testing the absolute shit out of these elevators. Swear to God. And then what about if like there was another? What if there was another one? Another one. Where would you put it? I don't even know. Okay, doesn't matter. These are like a 1 pixel off and it's really annoying me. There we go. Okay. So we don't have a moving platform. So we get the moving platform. Has to be a child. And generally speaking, we just put it here. The platform, we want to turn off rotate and loop. I should just go into the scene and make that default, right? Because path follow 2D, like it rotates by default and that's actually super annoying. And we don't want it to loop either. Because like it just doesn't work very well. And then, yeah, we just have to like create the path. Click this button here. So first point is there. And then the next point is like up here somewhere. Pretty much every time I do this, I have to like make it unique and actually edit the points individually because like the X is never like lining up. So I just changed these to like 0, right? And then add point, select control points, select points. It'd be nice if you could like, I think it has to go there, yeah? Get like a little indicator. So like realistically, that's it there. We do have to move it across like 2 pixels. Okay. So then you just choose the platform that you need to move. Okay, great. See, this is the problem sometimes. It's like, okay, select the right platform. Don't select the wrong platform. Maybe I need to type this. I don't actually, you know what, I couldn't because remote transform just takes anything. So like, this is just kind of annoying. I guess if you just like look for platform, give them like a more unique name, which is apparently platform. Okay. I'm an idiot. And that's where it's going to end up at 0, which is not very good. The 0 point for this platform is, where is it? Everything is sitting below the 0 point? That's not right. Why did I do that? It'd be sitting above it. I can't see anything. Fucking collision polygon. Dude, that's so annoying. The like tiny little pixel difference. I don't know. Maybe it's better to have it the other way around. Just make it like that. That lines up. There's probably a little bit too much of a gap. So if we move the platform track, or the path 2D really, you can move that 2 more pixels across. Or more pixels. Oh, we have to update the remote transform. Okay. Nice and lined up. Okay, let's work on the other one. Looks like a total mess. Add a platform track. Okay. Add the remote transform. We're looking for platform. And then just do a little quick little test that is moving the thing we want it to. Okay. And then this path is cooked. Okay. Happy days. Happy days. Okay, let's see. Did I forget anything? I don't think I did. I think I also have to set these variables, so that's a problem. Path follow 2D. This is where I ran into issues. This should be set. So if I go into this scene, let's be real. This path follow 2D should be set automatically because we already know that node. It's going to be that one. So there's no need for me to be like setting that. It's just the first stop, last stop that I really like you want to stop, like add those in. So if I'm doing that for this one here, it's the platform stop 1, right? And then the last stop is platform stop 2. Now, you could do stuff tricky like make the first stop of the other one platform stop 3. Or platform stop 4. I wonder if that would make a difference. I don't think there's anything in the code to like make it go to the first stop. There should be. Okay. Now this will actually be wrong because the first stop is, I mean, it worked out all right. And that doesn't do anything because there's no trigger point. That's the other thing we need to add. So it really depends where you add it. You can either add it as a child of the platform or the remote transform. Either way, you do need to add a interactable area and add a collision to it. And then connect the signal. And what I like to do is generally make it like above the platform and then just make sure that the collision is set to mask 2. And then connect that signal to the platform function on platform move request or next stop requested. And we want to make sure that it's connect. Right. Add an interactable. Add a collision shape. Add that. Signal. Interacted. This one here that we connect to. On next stop requested. Connect. Okay, so that's that. Let's look at this shape. Where's my mouse? Look. Got some errors. I'm guessing that the signals aren't connecting up properly. I think, yeah, this one didn't connect up properly. Error calling signal body entered. Well, well, well. NA Games. Welcome to the chat. I'm here. I'm at the gym. No, we're creating a gym. And stretching. Oh, that signal didn't work. Look what we have here. So, on next stop requested, go to method. Super elevator 2000. Dude, these elevators are superb. I have maximized them to their absolute maximalness. I don't know if you were around yesterday, but we've got like our little track, you know, we've got a path follow, and then we've got stops, and basically you just add these little stops and they have markers, you know, and wherever you put those, the stops will go to. And so now we can have like ultimate control, essentially, over everything, and except for the fact that this signal didn't connect up properly. Let me just like look at that. So this, what the hell? Disconnect. Let's just redo that. Platform track. It has to be connected to the right function, which is on next stop requested. How did you manage to do the 0.0 to 1.0 with more than 2 stops? Well, I found a function called get closest offset. And what that allows you to do is pass in a local position. So it has to be to local stop position dot global position. And that will find the closest point in the path to wherever you are. So you pass that marker position to this function, it will return the closest point on the path. And rather than use the progress, we just use the path position. And so we just manipulate that, which is like literally the next thing, right? Like it's just this one here, progress. And then how we know that we're finished is that we have like the first stop and the last stop. We just set them. And once you reach them, then it like knows to turn around and go back the other way. So it is a little bit of manual. You have to specify those, but that's fine. Just going to connect up. So the path uses pixels as speed. That too, we're just setting like the 64, and what we do is it's the exact same calculation, but we take the progress position, I think, rather than like calculating, because previously we needed to like actually reverse that because we were using like between 0 and 1, and we had to figure out the amount of pixels we're moving. So now since we're moving in pixels, it's just like the actual, it's a lot easier. So duration, right? Get duration. So it's just this one here, we actually have to multiply by the progress ratio, but this one we just need the total length. Because we need to find out like what the start point is. So total length times path follow 2D dot progress position. You get that. That'll get you a start point, like where you are right now. I guess you could just get like path follow 2D dot progress as well, now that I think about it. Oh well. Doesn't matter. It works. So it all works very well. It's just, I don't know why that signal. So like for some reason right now, this is an interesting little bug. For some reason, the signal connected here is connecting up just fine on next stop requested. And then this one here is not on next stop requested. Error calling signal body. Is it like, you know what? Is it like the collision? It is the collision, yeah. It's colliding with the world. Okay. Got it. Beans. Goosefat, welcome to the chat. So now we can just call the elevator and it'll just come to that position. And then, yeah, it's really pretty straightforward. And I also managed to figure out like the physics issues as well. So we can actually make these as fast as we want, and it's not going to make the player look strange, I don't think. So theoretically, I could make these like really fast. Right? Like if I go here, what's 512? Over 9,000? Oh, that might actually break the game. We'll test that after. 512 is the speed that you could theoretically make it, right? And nothing is like, the camera is like a little bit slow, but it'll just go. It won't be weird. Okay, so we're going to go over 9,000, so 10,090. I think this will actually break it, but like it's not a feasible speed. I mean, it just seems like it's instantaneous. But it, like nothing with the player breaks. He still ends up in the position you expect him to. So that's good. Yeah. And also the other thing as well, like theoretically, if we build this out, FTL elevator, yeah, it kind of just feels like you're teleporting. I mean, theoretically then, like now that we know that, we could also make like a teleporter and just use this exact same system and just make it really quick. You know what I mean? So let's just push this a little bit further with the tile map. Yeah, just do anything else than setting the position. Yeah, you don't want to set the position. That's bad. That'll never work out for you. There are ways you can do it, but like it's pretty much like a guaranteed fail. How can I set this? Where are my options? There they are. So we can actually do this as well, in theory. Is it going to let me actually add points? There we go. Make sure it's selecting the right. Right? So we add one there, and then we add another stop. And we just move that over to wherever we want it to be. Now, the kicker with this is we also need to make sure that we're specifying that that's the last stop. Otherwise, we'll never get to it. So we have to actually go, it's kind of curious, like, what is this going to look like? This little bend? Is it going to look weird? We have to actually say that platform 5 is the last stop, not platform 4. Otherwise, it'll just turn around at this point and never get there. Let's, oh, not mirror. And then it'll go across. Easy. Dude, these are like pro elevators. I have made the perfect elevator. And theoretically, we could have like automatic triggers and stuff like that too. But the only issue with that is... because I did try this. I tested it out in a test project. And the issue was, if the scene isn't instancing the player, you should have a player spawn point on it. There is a player spawn point. It's just in this particular scene. This is game start here. If the scene is instancing the player, are you watching like the old stuff? Because I was working on that. If the scene is instancing the player, you should have a player spawn point on it. The only way that the scene can instance the player is with having this spawn point on it. Doesn't work otherwise. You delete this, nothing will happen. Without that, if you unlock, let's say, the teleporter in a scene. Oh. Well... yeah, it depends, right? Like if you're being able to teleport between scenes, it's a bit different, like structurally. Like if it was a place you can spawn and you could, like, let's say you were all the way over in one part of the map and you wanted to come all the way back. Yeah, I mean, it is possible, I think. I do plan to make that. I want fast travel for the save points. Like when you're at a save point, you can go to any other save point. So, like, it is something we're going to need to implement at some point. And I think it should be, like, structurally, with the way the game is structured, it should be possible. Because we can already load in to, like, a level, right? So, like, in theory... like, yeah, okay, so this allows you to, like, teleport quickly from one position to the other. Well, not really, you're just moving, but, like, you wouldn't... I don't know, like, let's see, right? Let's see what happens if you make this go crazy, right? Like, let's just really see. Like, what if we make the next position of the incredibly fast one some zigzag position that's like over here. Like this is the platform you're going to teleport to, and we need to like just draw the path. Do you fall off? Because like, and also like it's going to take time anyway. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Because like there's a limit to like what, I mean, I'm just saying like you could use it this way. I'm not saying I'm gonna, but like there is a limitation to this kind of idea where you just move the platform really quickly, because obviously if you run into something on the way, it's going to do damage to you and stuff like that. Like we're not protecting the player. You know what I mean? So like this kind of thing in an up down, yeah, you could do that. But like if you're moving all the way over to here, I'm kind of curious just to see what happens. But like in a real level scenario, like not really, because you know. We got a short in the chat. Like something like this wouldn't really be practical unless you knew for sure that you weren't going to run into anything on the way. I mean, you're moving really quickly, so like maybe the enemies, they're not going to like detect you or anything, but like if you do pass through enemies, they're all going to see you and they're all going to try to chase you. You know what I mean? Which is not what you want when you're quote unquote teleporting. Let's see what happens. I mean, it works. See here, you fell off. I fell off. You've had a background with art showing the path of the elevator. Oh yeah, that's a good point. So for some reason, this one like knocks you off here. Probably because you're like passing through. But yeah, like it's not practical for stuff like this, but like up and down for sure, you could make it seem like a teleporter. You could cheat. Something that instantaneously transports you. I mean, it's not a bad idea to have something like that. How would it work? I mean, you could just unload the player and reload them at the new position. There's functions for that. Yeah, pretty much always like drops you here. You hit, I think what happens is you hit stuff on the way. Like if you're too close to the edge. I don't know. Hang on, I'll watch that short in a second. Yeah, so it's literally just like there's stuff in the way. Yeah, it's not, I don't think it's practical for stuff like that, but like, yeah, you could. You're seriously about not setting the position of the player? I mean, I had never thought about it because it's not like something that I thought I would need, like an instantaneous transport between two positions. I guess if you turn physics off, it'd probably be okay. I don't know. The thing is, like, when I've tried that in the past, it's never worked. You know what I mean? Just unload the player and reload them. Let's have
I can fix your fear of snakes with this ridiculous creature. No, that is not a snakeskin sock puppet. That is an actual, real animal on this planet, and it's called the Arabian sand boa. And you may be wondering, why does he look like that?
Yeah, it is literally like the snoot.
Well, no. As much as it looks like it, God did not design this thing in the Spore Creature Creator after 10 fucking beers.
Dude, this is a long shot.
Like a strand of spaghetti with googly eyes for camouflage. So, I'm going to give you exactly one guess as to where an animal called the Arabian sand boa is found. That's right, the deserts of the Arabian Peninsula. If you got that wrong, I don't know what to fucking tell you, man.
You stupid.
No, no. And in order to survive in that air fryer, the sock here needs two things. Food, and not to be turned into food. Which is rather hard, considering this is not a fucking danger noodle, okay? This is a defenseless noodle.
It's just a gigantic worm.
Long. It has no venom and the bite of an old lady without her fucking dentures in.
It's harmless.
So how does it survive? Simple. Digs a fucking hole like a Night 1 Minecraft player. See, they're nocturnal, so during the day, they bury themselves completely in the sand, which allows them to take a nice little nap without getting snatched up by a fucking bird. Then, once night falls, those fuck-ass eyeballs finally serve a purpose beyond looking ridiculous.
They got night vision.
And that purpose is to sit just above the sand like a submarine periscope and scan for food.
Oh, we'll just wait for a bug to come along?
Wait for a mouse or lizard to get close before this vicious creature pops out of the sand like the worms from Dune and eats it.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally like, just like that. It's the worm from Dune or that thing from Star Wars.
So funny. Like, just imagine the last fucking thing you see before ascending to the pearly gates is fucking that.
It's funny. The snake is a genius, lazy. Exactly. Like a lot of nature is just inefficient, is just finding efficiencies. It's like, you know what's easy? Doing this. It works. Hey, if it works, don't knock it. Don't knock it, you know? All right. So yeah, I mean, that's our elevator. This is dumb. We won't do this. I think up and down is fine if you wanted to have like a really quick teleporter-like thing. But like long distance, not practical, I would say. Don't blame the player, blame the game. That's what I'm saying. Also, like, what happens if the position of that is over there? Do we just go up and down? I'm kind of curious. Yeah, it just takes you up to the vertical position of it. Okay. Easy. The other thing that I need to implement for these is, like, unlocking the floor. So, like, what if we wanted an elevator to exist, but we don't want it to exist until you do a certain thing? Like, what then? You know? I think 128 is probably a more reasonable speed. Can we... Okay, because there's a couple of things I've been thinking about, right? Like, in terms of gating the player, there's a couple of different things we can do. Obviously, we can make ability gates. So it's like you can't get through until you, like, you know, get a certain ability. That's what I've been using. We need animation for it coming to life. Yeah, I need a lot of animations. I don't have any at the moment. But what I was going to say is, like, you know, I don't have anything in terms of like, oh, this door is opened. I don't have a key. I need a key ring. And so, like, let's say this, maybe this stops okay, but like this one needs a key to, like, in order to trigger this. And same with like doors. The doors are just open pathways. There's no like gates on them. You know what I mean? It's like, I kind of want it to be like, you need to unlock, you need to like get a key, like get the blue key. You know, it's that classic thing, but like not as obvious, I guess. Please, Mr. Chaff, do an easy parallax background, I beg you. On this scene? Because my regular game has like a background. You know what I'm saying? I hate parallax backgrounds. I'm actually really not that good at them. I've never designed like a really good one. Every time I do them, I have to watch a tutorial to make them work. I'm like, why doesn't this work? An elevator gym? It is an elevator gym. I've got 2 elevators. You were saying it was going to be a problem, but it's not a problem. I mean, it depends how you design the level, I guess. This one's really slow. Also, we found out we can teleport the player with this ability. You like the background? That's good. Because it's gonna, like, I'm not doing it for everything right now because it's gonna take ages and it's also like a lot of effort. You need something for your brain to tell you that the player is moving through a world. Maybe I need to create like a default one for like scenes that don't have anything in them. You know what I mean? Like scenes without a background, get the default parallax or whatever. I don't know what that would be. Some trees in the background or something. I don't even know how to make them. We get on like itch.io, find some basic stuff. You know, basic parallax background. We're underground? Yeah, it just needs to be like Where am I signed into Itch? What browser am I signed into Itch for? We're in a tall building. It's like meant to be underground, but like it's open to change because like I haven't really written anything. So there was an error with my request. What the hell is Itch down? I wanted to pop in and say hi. I recently started Godot development. I love your channel. Hey, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Enjoy your time. I hope you learn a lot. You work your way up the megastructure. In theory, like in my headcanon for what the story would be if I was to like actually do it. But like I said, like it could be anything at the moment. Like I'm open to ideas. But like right now in my head, it's like you go down until you get to the center of the earth kind of thing. You basically break through a hole in the facility until you're below the earth and you're like in the center of the earth kind of thing. And there's like aliens and shit. But that's obviously like very complicated and I don't know if I have like the artistic capability or the time. So like that is sort of like pie in the sky, but like probably not going to be that because realistically I need to like focus more on making a tight gameplay loop than actually writing a story because like at the end of the day, no one cares about that stuff unless you have a good game to play, I think. Plus, I'm not much of a writer anyway. I'm basically just copying, well, like Journey to the Center of the Earth. I don't know. Ice Station, if you've read the book. Gameplay is king, yeah. So I need to like impress people who like to play like Silksong or Mega Man and see if they like the gameplay. Which is probably what I should be focusing on, but instead I'm making elevators. Game assets. There is an error with my request. It hates me for some reason. Tools. Horror games? Always errors with my requests. Story is second. I think graphics almost like it could be like one of the more important things. It definitely helps sell, right? I don't know why that doesn't work. Anyway, we'll have to do Parallax background some other time because I can't download one. Unless... Okay, it's a Firefox thing. The two camps are narratology and ludology. Dude, I get it, like narratology, like narrative. Background? Parallax? I don't know. Scrolling City BG? Sci-Fi Lab? We just like download some random asset pack and then just use that as a default background for like placeholder. Something like that, right? Oh, there's music attached. No troubles with 20 elevators in the gym. Proceed. Well, I've only got 2. How many do you think I should add? 20? What's my size? 32 by 32. Yeah, 32 is the sort of... I mean, the tile size is 16 by 16, but yeah, the character is 32 by 32. Okay, so wait. How many platforms can you platform? Minimum 3. Okay. Bet. Let's change the tile map to suit. You'll make a background for me? Thank you. Okay. Tile map. And what am I trying to do? Go this way. I wonder if duplicating it causes issues. The button's on the wrong side. That's all right. Doop. This one goes slow. We just like put them all side by side. Like, what if we just made this a whole flat area and we just duplicated this whole like basic platform? Like, delete this one that goes on an angle for fun, and just have like a bunch of these tall ones. And then, like, we just have it. We can't go over. This is 0, 0, so this is where it needs to start. If 3 work without hassle, usually a good sign. Let's go crazy. We don't even need that. Who cares about that? Millions of elevators all over the world. And then with the tile map, let's just add like a little thing for you to stand on when you get to the top of each one. I think we'll just go like this. See, I think it'll just pass through that stuff, so it should be okay. Why is this one green? We did it. You can almost walk across it. There's a couple of gaps. Wait, we can walk across it. There's just like here you almost fall down. Sweet. I think we're good. I think we've made the perfect elevator system. The most perfect. Keep this in a folder called private gyms. Oh, okay, nice. I'll change it. I think it's just in world, scenes, world, gym. Oh, it's just called gym here. And then you just call it elevators. Do you, so here's some advice, because I've never like had this idea of the gym before. Like, is it something that you endlessly expand, or do you have multiple to test different things? I guess if they're interacting. Okay, so now that's done. Keys. Or do I should really focus on the boss. I need to make the boss really tight. So that when I start distributing this as like an alpha build, people can actually fight against something that isn't completely busted. Because we were working on that right before I realized I needed to become obsessed with elevators for a whole week. The life of game dev. You just suddenly decide that becoming obsessed with something that, like, if a player, like, you know, gets on an elevator and it works, they don't care. They don't care that you spent like a week obsessing over this and trying to create like the most optimized system to create them. They just care that it works. But here we are. Oh well. It is what it is. The only other thing that I really, now that I have this, I was sort of thinking about this before, is there's kind of an issue with like automatic platforms and stuff like that. So, you know, do we need them? Is it important? I don't know. It's easy to do, but this system doesn't like automatically allow for that. Like realistically, you would change the curve on this. So we've got ease in and translinear, but like maybe if it was automatic, it would be like trans expo. So that it would get faster as it got towards the end. It starts off really slow because you need time to get onto it, right? So if we change this, for example, so what you can do is, let me just like change the path on this so that it actually hits the ground. Path. I have to look this way. So like, just say that's like actually on the ground. And instead of this being like an interactable, we just change this type. Let's just delete it. And we add instead an area 2D, right? That just collides with the player. And when it does that, add a collision shape. The platform starts moving. And in theory, it starts moving the other way if you jump back onto it. And like, do you want that? Because right now, that's just how it's going to work, right? Like if you re-trigger this signal, body entered, and you connect that to the name of the signal, which is pick go to next stop, I believe. On next stop requested, actually, is the correct one here. So you connect that, and you connect, like that's just gonna trigger. And is it enough time? There's nothing fancy happening here. Expo, whoa, okay, so like that, see, this is not what you want. I think Expo is a good choice here. So like, it would almost be a good idea to give that as a drop down, right? Although this is continuously triggering, which is because the area 3D is 2D is moving and triggering the actual function again when it gets to the top, which is interesting. I'm assuming, actually. Let's just... Yeah, it stops once you get off. So if we make this a child of the platform, does it work better? Because that's the other option. So now it's subject to physics, maybe? I don't know. Yes, that's the answer is yes. But yeah, like my question now is like, okay, is that something you even want? Just jump back on this to send it back the other way? Probably okay, but there's no animation or anything. So like maybe we need to create an animation for the platform to like react physically to when you jump on it or something like that. Like how do we get that? You know what I mean? Like, because we're using tweens to move the platform track, which makes the most sense because it allows us to have like multiple stops and programmatically, so we don't have to think about where they are. Like if it was using an animation player, that would not work. So you have to use tweens or like a lerp or something like that. But that means that also you're sort of locked out of having an animation to like animate the way that the track behaves sometimes. And so you put that animation onto the platform, I think, and just have that triggered manually. Maybe, I don't know, but this still works, right? Everything else is fine. The speed is something unreal. Like how fast is this going? You know? Platform track. So yeah, 64 is too much for this. And then the other issue I had, okay, so first of all, we need to 100%, and then like, yeah, if you jump on this, it's gonna like go back the other way, which is like, I feel like players are gonna want to do this, you know, I do this all the time. Like I'm just moving. So maybe we need to lock out once you're on it. Oh, there's actually, you know what? There's a trigger. There's a thing here called reversible. So if I make it reversible, that's not going to do anything until you stop. Except it's going to start again. Okay, maybe we don't do that. Okay, so hang on a second. I'll go back to the platform track. Go back to the function at the bottom. Go to next stop. If this... Okay, so let's pop this out. Go to next stop. We don't need that print anymore. So if it's running and it's reversible, we flip direction and we change the next stop. Else, we just return. So that we actually just don't go to the next stop. Okay, so that's that. Also, like, what is this printout of 100? Where is that from? This is probably the health, right? Like, what else could it be? So now you can bounce around it as no problem. Except for once we reach the spot. Interesting. Hello? I messed up with that return. If platform tween else. Wait. No. Okay, so if platform tween is running, we need to return. We need to split this out. So if platform tween is running, return. If reversible, expected that after the if condition. Okay. Theoretically, if platform tween is running, else return. If platform tween, no, think about this. If platform tween is running, else I've done this before. And I don't, oh, like I need to refresh my memory. Like, what the fuck? My brain. It's too early, guys. How did I structure this last time I did it? Like literally on the weekend. Development projects, Godot. 2D character controller project. Is it like if reversible, then else return? Just move it in one. If not reversible, return. Yeah, it's this, but that's fine. Okay, so that was my answer. Move it in one. I don't know why I blanked out on that. Yeah, it's a bit slow to start. But yeah, you can just continuously trigger it until it gets to the next stop, which is good. That's exactly what you want. Okay. But yeah, like I said, there's no feedback, which is, I guess, fine for what now, right now. Like, it's not a problem. Yeah, I don't know. That's like pretty much it. You can trigger it any way you want, as long as you're calling that function. Oh, I wanted to expose that so I could make it a variable. So how do I do that? That is the question. Where's my script? So I wanted to make the ease and the trans sent you the 10 out of 10 background. Let me get Discord open. Let's add this to this. It's so small. Oh, this is like just like a background tile map or something. Where do I save this? Hell yeah. I can't find my way through my folders. Development, Godot, Metroidvania, project, assets, tile maps, I guess. Random SBG. Yeah, parallax component takes care of the tiling. Does it really? I don't know how to set up parallax backgrounds. Guys, I went straight for 3D background. I haven't done parallax. You have to walk me through this. So if I go like parallax 2D, and then I add like the sprite, right? Or do I add like the tile map? Placeholder. I think I put it in tile maps. Random SBG. That's it there, right? And then what do I do? Repeat 32 by 32. Gotta put it at the background, eh? So do I just do that? Dude, that's kind of trippy. No need to repeat. Okay. So if I just run it. I'm like, what do I do? 2D parallax, read the docs. He just sends me the docs. That's so funny. Okay. The parallax node supports adding nodes that render things as children. You can use one or many nodes to make up each layer. Yada yada yada. Background scroll speeds. Yep. We only have one, so that's not really an issue. Infinite repeat provides a bonus effect that gives your textures the illusion of repeating infinitely. Repeat size. Tells the node to snap positions. Poor sizing. The infinite repeat is easier to work with when you have an image designed to repeat seamlessly. Yep, okay. Battle tested before release, exactly. We can see that the viewport is 500 by 500, but the texture is, so if we set the repeat size to the size of our image, infinite repeat doesn't scroll probably because the original texture doesn't cover the viewport. If we instead set the repeat size to the size of the viewport, then we have a large gap. What can we do? Make the viewport smaller. View same size as your texture. Scaling. Scale child nodes. You can start off right foot. Texture repeat enabled. If you have a sprite 2D you'd like to repeat but it's too small, you can do the following to it. Set texture repeat to canvas item texture enabled. And is this on the import? Set region enabled to 2. Set the rect to private scenes are never shown to the user. 1 gem per thing. Okay. There's no way to get to this room, so that's fine. I see. I'm kind of dumb, NA. I think you want to repeat it until it covers the viewport. It says here that if you can also start by preparing child nodes earlier in the process. If you have a sprite 2D and you like to repeat, you can make the following changes to it. Set texture repeat on the sprite. I don't know. Import. Where is this thing? Canvas item texture repeat enabled. Canvas item. Enabled. Okay. Set region enabled to true. Looking. Region enabled. Sprite 2D. Region on. Ooh. 32 by 32? No. Set the region rect to be a multiple of the size of your texture large enough to cover the viewport. So that would be 320 by 180. Or is it 32 by 32, 320 by 320 by 180? Aha! Perfect. But it is bigger than our viewport, I guess. I don't know, that's fine. Isn't the texture height 180 for the camera? Dude, I don't freaking know, eh? Okay, it's here. Revisit this elevated gym when you need to implement new concepts. If they are good for now, implement and move on. Yeah, I getcha. What happens if I squish myself? I just get transported to the top of this. Okay. Now go to the parallax node. Yes, we need to set up the parallaxing. Repeat. Same size, right? 320 by 180. Dude, where'd it go? It's like over there for some reason. What you doing? Come back. I think the way that I've set up my camera might like actually be a problem for this, right? You see how it repositions? Yeah. I do see that. Just offset it? Or... Ignore camera scroll, follow viewport. But it's in the corner of the viewport, I guess, is the issue, right? Scroll offset. There we go. Look at the docs? How dare you? How could you suggest that I look at the docs? It almost works. That's not really what we want to do. Okay, let's go back to reading the docs. You can see the repeating twice image makes it large enough to cover the screen. Poor positioning. It's common to see the users mistakenly set all of the textures to be centered at 0, 0. This creates the problem with infinite repeat should be avoided. The infinite repeat canvas starts at 0, 0 and expands down to the right side of the repeat size. So if the textures are centered on 0, 0, crossing the infinite repeat canvas is only partly covered, so it only repeats. Would increasing repeat times technically would work in some scenarios, but this brute force solution, first check to see if any textures are spilling over into the negative space. Okay, so like that's basically saying like you've done it wrong, mate, because like look at how it's set up. So we need to offset the texture by 320 divided by 2, and this 180 divided by 2, which is 60, right? Oh, apparently not. $90, idiot. Okay. Kinda. Whoop. I think it's because the viewport is 180. So like maybe if what I need to do actually is because the camera is zoomed, like the viewport's actually 1920 by 1080, or it's the viewport is the size of the window. Like it's really kind of, I'm sort of breaking some of the conventions that Godot normally uses. This is the size of the viewport right now. It's flexible, it can change, which will cause issues with this kind of thing. So it's kind of hard to like choose a size that would make sense. Interesting. Yes, the other thing is you could just like 1920 by 1080. Like actually make it the size of the default viewport. I don't know. Does it run out? So that was the answer to our question? Or is it just really big? I think it's working. Wait, there's the end. I can just jump off this. Oh, that's trippy. But yeah, that was the answer to our question. Make it as big as the viewport. Like it said to. Nice. So now you can see that the background is moving. Now do the scroll speed. Oh. Is that just like an artistic choice? a little slower. Is this the scroll scale? This is it? Like this? .8, okay. Yeah, because that's a little bit too slow. Fascinating. I've just been deep in a 2D game for like 6 months, and like I don't know how to set up a a parallax background. Nice. That was cool. It kind of it's crazy how like the slowing down the scroll gives it like a little bit of depth, eh? So now it should just like work flexibly with like changing the size of the screen and stuff, which is the entire point of doing the way I'm doing it. Happy days. We have a default background for the gym. So then when we go to the gym session, we've got this. It's so funny. I'm like zoomed in all the way here. I'm like, I can't see the camera. It's like all the way out here. Crazy. Okay, so that's it. We got to like lock back in. We have to correct this elevator here is like not the right elevator. Right kind of elevator. Now we know how. I'll forget. But thank you. I've forgotten so many times. I've set up parallax backgrounds. I feel like every time I make a 2D game, I'm like, how do I do a parallax background? And I have to like fight it. If ever your desire will come. True. Okay, so this elevator is an old elevator. We delete. And we have to put in a platform. We have to put in a platform track, technically. And then make it editable. Pun intended. Curve points make unique. I think the platform track should be where you want it to be. Like you go here. And then the first point, not that this really matters, but then we can make it 0, 0. What is my desire? To make game. And then, yeah, you can make it like... Technically, this can go past it, but it's not... Just go there. Game make. Okay. We go... No. No. Bad. Platform stop. Put that in the stops. Duplicate a couple times. Stop. Duplicate. Got a little bit of polish to do on these, but like they work. That to be there. And then stop. Okay, and then all you have to do is bring in the platform. Movable platform. I shaved today. I've become 10 years younger. Oh god. I have been vetoed by my wife to never shave. She's like, you can't. Whenever we look at photos of my younger self, she's like, nope. And then here we add a interactable, make it collision, mask 2, and then collision shape. Angular. That's fine. Okay. Now we need to make our way to this scene, I guess. We haven't connected that signal. Platform track. So what we do here is we connect this signal and then we look for platform track. And we choose that and then we pick on next stop requested player node. Okay. It's not going to be any. Nothing is compatible with it, technically. Player node 2D, okay. Connect. Okay, that's connected. And then this also requires us to say, I'm trying to drill this into my head as well, so that I don't forget in the future, but I probably will. That's fine. Assign this. Platform stop. Assign this. Platform stop 3. Okay, we do a fresh run of the game. Go new. Let's leave collision shapes on for now, since we need to, like, we want to make sure that we're absolutely connecting with this kind of stuff. Ouch. I suppose they could have gone to the other thing. I got to tomorrow, 4-day weekend, dude. Nice. Oh, you know what? I need to speak to my boss. Technically, I have a time in lieu that I need to use. Oh, that's right. I need to expose the tween parameters so that I can actually create a good tween. Is the black area your background transparent? Hang on. Oh, let's go back down and save. You mean this? No, it's just a tile map. The black area here is just, it's baked into the tile map. This here. So the tile map looks like tile map layer. Tiles. It's just something really basic that I put together to, like, use to draw scenes out. Not that black. Which black? The black in the background? Like this one here? The area in which the player moves around? Okay. I'm going to run the game and you're going to... So, like, say where it's, say where the 3D is happening, the answer is yes. There's nothing in the background. If you turn the 3D off, it just goes to blank canvas, right? You know what I mean? So if I go to this level and I turn off this canvas layer, it just, like, there's no background. Because the background is a canvas layer that is tied to the screen. So it's attached to the camera. No, that's not true. It's a canvas layer, right? So it follows the viewport, and there's a sub viewport container on it, which has the 3D level. So the dark of the background is not transparent. Yeah. So this bit here that you're seeing where it's like just darkness, you can actually see there's like a little bit of an edge. And if you change the the FOV, you can see a lot more of the 3D, but I keep it like subtle because I don't think you want to have it too much. It's just like a little bit. Like you don't want to make it too much because yeah, I think it becomes like a little bit too strange. You know what I mean? So FOV is 10. If you increase that, obviously you have to like bring the camera closer because there's a relationship there. And you sort of have to set that. You know what I mean? So if I bring that down to like 20, now you will be able to see like a lot more of how it's working. I do plan to change it. You know what I mean? So like right now it just draws a, it's like a, yeah, I can show you. We go to the first level. So the plan is, so you can see it here. This is another tile map, a 3D tile map. It's called a grid map, right? And it can be anything. We need to specify shapes. So there's a set number of shapes we need to bring in for this to work. And basically what it does, it reads the tile map in 2D and it recreates the exact same thing based on this tile map, right? So if we wanted it to look different, we can. However, my plan is to, like, when we actually get serious about the art, is like, yeah, we're going to have like floor tiles and like whatever, but the wall, we bring that into Blender, we delete it, and then we like remodel the background. However that is, like, and that's part of the reason why I want to keep the levels kind of small, because I know that's going to be kind of annoying. So, and then we can bring that back in and just like line it up, you know? Kind of like what I'm doing over here with the background and the mirror and stuff like that. That's not like programmatic. I can't do that programmatically. I have to do that manually. So same kind of principle. Technically this needs to be redrawn because everything has been moved. But I'm just sort of ignoring it because it's kind of like afterthought right now. I'd worry about that before I ship. Before I ship the alpha, I'll redo this. Right now it's just whatever. There's a couple of issues with it. Like technically, if you want to do 3D, 2D kind of stuff, you need to like realistically, this should all just be done in 3D. But because I started in 2D, it's easier to just project onto the background rather than start again. There's limitations. Obviously, the angle can't change. So moving the 3D camera is kind of a little bit janky. They're synced up, the 2D and the 3D camera. So like, we can do camera zoom. Like if we talk to this guy, the camera does zoom, but there's a little bit, I mean, it's honestly not that bad to be honest. Like when I keep it FOV this, I guess the idea is like, yeah, FOV is 10, so it's quite narrow. So like when you're directly lined up with this door, it doesn't look that deep. It's only when you like move left to right that you start to notice the depth. But the whole point is like, obviously if you have objects on a 2D plane, it becomes really obvious if these objects are like sitting in front of the camera. So like having a narrow FOV helps with that. And then like, yeah, camera movements when the FOV is way higher become like really a bit weird. But why does it jump pixels? That's a good point. Because of the resolution. That's really the only answer. Maybe I need to turn on smoothing for the 3D camera or something. I don't know. Maybe there's a setting there. I don't know. Do 3D cameras have smoothing? Camera, 2D camera, it's linked up. It's got a step and it's got what does the step do? I have to review my code. .3D camera. So camera distance step. So we're okay. So yeah, we are. No, that does matter. It does need to be 16 because that's the size of the tile map. So that just gets set to the size of the tile map. Camera distance. What about the speed? Because we are lerping, right? Well, we're just setting the position directly. Huh. I mean, that makes sense because we don't want it to lag behind. And then when we zoom, we do it in a certain kind of way, but like... Interesting. Yeah, it's not like a speed. We're just 100% setting that every frame. So that's probably why. There's no smoothing. It just takes the position of the 2D camera and translates it into the 3D world. What that does, I don't... Like, is there a better way to do it? I did need an environment for that camera to use. Yeah, I mean, technically it does have one. Or you know what? I did have one, but I turned it off. Let me just check. Yeah, there's a world environment. But like the lighting gets kind of weird. Like lighting is another consideration. So I might not keep going with this because like the thing is with lighting, we're going to need to do it and sync it in 2D and 3D. So that's like kind of bad unless you just don't do lighting. So that's like one of the things that I'm most concerned about. Because everything else is like kind of straightforward. Like, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of pixel snapping. Do you want to make it smooth though? I'm not particularly concerned, but like maybe I'll address it in the future. It's really to do with the snapping of the camera to like the plane, right? Like I guess the camera is making small movements in the 2D because 2D is moving in pixels. So that's very small compared to like, I think it's, is it small? I don't know actually. It's translated to 16:1 because like the tiles are 1 meter wide. So like maybe it shouldn't really, to be honest, now that you mention it, like it really kind of shouldn't. We are setting the resolution of the viewport container. Are we not? The viewport rec size 2D override, which shouldn't affect the scroll speed. Like realistically, that's just to give it like a pixelated look. It doesn't even work properly, to be honest. Let's turn off the debug. Right, so right now it's very smooth. And yeah, but there's still like, as it comes to a stop, like it slows down and there's pixel snapping. But there is in the 2D because I fixed that. It's a lot easier. I wonder. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, isn't it? You think that you fix that with like some kind of setting in the viewport? This is only once you change the size of the... Is the camera lapping? The camera is... I mean, it's the 2D camera that's moving. The pixel snap. Could it be? Make it like super pixely? Is it worse? Yeah, it's worse. Okay, so it's to do with the stretch, I think. 100%, yeah, it's the stretch. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. Okay, but this presents an issue because our game is 1080p. Do you have 3D game ideas to code for me? For what? Do I have any 3D game ideas for you? Well, you could make a game. What do you like to make? Zombies. Make like Space Invaders but 3D. I don't know. Like Asteroids but 3D. Like all those basic games. For me personally, I learned 3D by just being obsessed with making first-person shooter controllers. That's it. And I'm still not that good. Okay, so like the stretch is what really is causing this, but then we do have like a visual concern here. So if I disable all of this, which will stop like all of that. The concern is then that the foreground is pixel art. It's very small density pixels too. It's like 320 by 180, but the background is 1 meter per tile. So the fidelity of the background is actually way higher. So which means we need to scale up the pixels in order for it to maintain its smoothness. So that's something that you have to be concerned about. I don't know. I always imagined it to be low pixel. There's still some weirdness, but like there's no pixel snapping. Casino roguelike with god powers. Because like, yeah, I guess we scale up the pixels. Where's Blender? I don't know if I'll be able to find it. I was working on like a door as like a concept. The thing is, I'm not particularly good at texture painting, but I was like, I need to like sort of learn how this all works if I'm serious about doing this. So I did this. Right. So like, this is the kind of style that I would go for if it was like in the 3D world. And I guess like if this is scaled up correctly, like to fit where that blue door is, then I don't think there's any issues because we're just doing like, we're scaling up the pixels essentially. So as long as the textures are scaled up, then maybe it's okay. And we go for a very pastel kind of blocky style rather than like PlayStation, right? Because like, that's not going to work. Not for this game anyway, my art style doesn't suit it. So like, this is more kind of thing, you know? But yeah, it's something to consider. However, what if you make it all 3D? Also the sprites? I mean, that would solve most of my problems, but like, we're kind of a bit deep. So it's either this or no 3D. Like we can, I'm not particularly connected to that. Like I set it up in like a couple of days over the Christmas holidays. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We do something else and we just draw backgrounds. I vote no 3D. Okay. I'll take it into consideration. I think the lighting is probably the biggest concern there. The lighting for me, at least. Like from a practicality standpoint, everything else like will work. Okay, there's some pixel snapping. Is the sequel will be 3D? Yes, it will be. If we ever make it that far. But yeah, I have to go to work. Thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate it immensely. Although I think I should get Monday off. I have some time in lieu. But yes, I'll see you all later. Have a good day.